Welcome back to the Bunn Sons, and today we have the driver, among other things, of the number 7 Dave Jacobs racing car in the NASCAR Pinty Series, Pete Shepard III. Welcome, Pete.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on the show.
Awesome. Where are we going today? What are we doing? What are you going to talk about?
So we each have a couple questions we're going to ask you, and then I have 3, and my brother has 3, and I'm going to ask my first one right now. I'm a big Biffle fan and a big Rush fan. You were part of the Rush Driver X program. Tell us what it was like.
Yeah, it was an incredible experience, actually. From the moment I took off, I remember flying in there, and then I got to spend some time with who became one of my better friends. Augie Vidovich was in the competition with me, and all of us as drivers, we had no clue what we were going to be in for. So we got to fly in, we got to meet a lot of people, go to a racetrack, see 2 great Cup tracks. We saw Martinsville and Darlington.
Cool.
Yeah. So we got to see 2 of those places. Got to meet guys like you, like Greg Biffle. You're a big fan. I got to meet him during the show. I got to meet Mark Martin, all the guys who were kind of part of the lineup there, and Carl Edwards. It's a really cool experience. It was probably, the best thing that ever happened in my racing career.
Wow, that a bunch of big top tier Rush drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. That was back in their prime too. They had 5 cars in the chase that year, the first year I was there. So pressure was on, right? They were at the top of their game. So they were counting on all of us drivers to do our part and make sure that their fast cars were in contention to win every week. Yeah.
And did you also race with David Reagan and Justin Allgaier in that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. In the actual contest, David Reagan was in there. Eric Darnell was in there. Daniel Quinn. Yeah, Justin Allgaier. Even Bubba Pollard was in there. So they had a really good group of guys, a very, very tight competition. So thankfully for me being so young, I didn't know who all these people were at the time right away. And it took a lot of pressure off. I just kind of, did my own thing and just did what I knew how to do my whole life. And it worked out well for me.
I'd imagine. You ended up doing very well in the overall results. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, got to run Martinsville first and came out with the second fastest time there, even faster than Ricky Craven, who was a regular driver for them. So that was exciting for me. And then Darlington, a funny story I like to tell all the time is they ask if I've ever seen a track as big as Darlington. At the time I hadn't. I've seen Daytona, but I've never raced on it. So I got to go to Darlington, and the question that Jack actually we called him Mr. Roush there at the time. But he asked me what the biggest track I'd ever seen before Darlington was, and I had to think about it for a second. And the biggest track was actually Martinsville the week before. So that was kind of a funny experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've raced all over North America. Of all the tracks you've been to, which one is your favorite?
I actually have an odd favorite track. It was Chicagoland Speedway, and I think sometimes you just gravitate to the track you have the most success at. And we finished second in the Silver Crown series race there, which was where they took those Silver Crown cars and put the big downforce bodies on them and put them on the big tracks. We actually did about 212 mimiles per hour there, so it was pretty fast, almost like IndyCar speeds.
Yeah.
So that was probably my favorite track because I had success there. I was fast in truck testing, and we had a good we finished, I think, maybe 5th or 6th in the ARCA race there. So it was just a track that I had success at, so I really liked it a lot.
Very unique track because of the backstretch.
Yeah, good observation.
Yeah,
it's pretty round. It's you don't realize it till you're out there, really, but it's a very round racetrack.
Yeah. And my final question is, talk about the Shepard family racing roots. What does the numbers 79 and 7 mean to your family history? Yeah,
so there's 2 significant numbers, and one maybe that I don't show off enough. That's the Zardo side of the family, which is 46. They're a big part of the family as well. That's my mom's father, so the grandfather on that side. But 79 actually originally started well before I was born. Probably, I wouldn't want to embarrass myself and say the wrong. It was sometime within the 70s for sure, racing with Rich Grady. My grandfather owned a car that he drove first, and Rich drove the 79. Then my father eventually, when he took over racing, I think his first ever number was something random. He just picked whatever was left, was 25 in his first year or something like that. And then he ended up taking over the 79 after Rich moved on and decided to race, I think, super late models. So my father took it on and always ran it. And I've always liked the number. In hockey, actually, the reason I'm like 7, my dad ran 7 a few times, but I like 7 because when I played hockey for Brampton, our numbers only went up to number 17 or 18. So I couldn't wear number 79. So I just dropped the 9 and wore number 7. So that's kind of a funny story as to why I like number 7.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty clever.
Yeah. As we couldn't get 79. So a number that my dad ran in the past, and usually it's a defenseman's number, and I'm a forward, but I wore number 7 anyway because I liked it.
You always come to the Pinty Series races to win, never really to chase championships, but you have won like 18% of your races. Is there any one of them that stands out to you the most?
My first one was big. All of them have significant value. The funny part with my wins, when you look at them, is they all came at different places. I had no repeat wins anywhere at all. So my first one was Kawartha, which was special in its own way. Delaware was very special because I live in London, so it's pretty close to home.
Yeah.
And then I think one of the more significant ones that I don't really bring up as much as the Mosport Oval. I actually won the very last race on the Mosport Oval, which shut it down. So that one stands out as well. Those are probably the three biggest ones. The win in Saskatoon was fun too because it's outside the province. But I would say of those three, the first 3 I mentioned were probably the biggest 3.
I was going to mention that the Mosport Oval was the most recent one, and it was the last one.
Yeah, so that was special. And it's kind of, if you look, I did a little bit of a track tour there not too long ago, and they used part of that oval 1 and 2, which was a really tight end of the racetrack. That's still there, part of their development road course. So it's still kind of there. You can still kind of see it, but it's different, obviously.
Yeah, it's still cool how they have a little bit of the track left. So yeah,
preserve some of the history there, right?
Yeah. You've raced in the Xfinity, Trucks, ARCA West, Go-Karts, Pinty's, Cascar West. And is there any other series that you haven't done?
You know what? One thing that I haven't done, and I've kind of always regretted it, and I probably had a couple of chances to run some dirt racing. I've never, ever raced on dirt before, but I've raced road courses and all kinds of different, asphalt circuits and stuff like that. Would have been fun to try it, I think, and I'm still open to it. Never say never. But I think that the versatility that I've gained in being able to drive on all those different surfaces has definitely helped shape me. You kind of take a little bit of that from everywhere you go, and you try and apply it, and I think it helps you in tough situations. If your car is not handling as good one day, you can adapt a little bit and make changes on the fly and get better rate behind the seat of the race car itself.
Is there any series that particularly fits your style the best?
To be honest, I think that I'm a better high horsepower, heavy stock car racer. So the heavier the stock cars and the more horsepower, the better things are. I've always taken a lot of pride to in longer races, like the 300 plus lap races in hot weather. I always like the battle of attrition. I like when there's not much racetrack and you got to battle for every inch of it. The short late model races, don't get me wrong, they're a lot of fun. It's something that I've had to work on and adapt to because it's full-blown concentration. There's so much momentum involved in the late model stock cars that you can't miss a beat and you got to be on every single lap, and that's difficult in its own right. But I've always thought that I was a better, big, heavy horsepower type of race car driver.
Interesting. Yeah. We bought our tickets for Delaware later this season for the Pinty Series race. Will you be there? And if so, are you planning to run multiple series or just the Pinties?
Yeah, no, I will be there. I'm glad I'll see you both days. The season finale right now for the APC series is going to be the Saturday, and then the Sunday is the Pinty series finale. So I'll be in both those races, and hopefully it's races that I can go there and have a chance to win. You don't want to disrupt the championship of the Pinty series. Obviously, I respect all those guys who are battling for that championship, but if we're fast enough, maybe we can get out in front of them and we don't have to affect them. They have their own battle behind us. That's what we're hoping for. So that's the eventual goal. But, I can't thank everybody at APC and Canoes enough for putting me in both series. Obviously, the APC series is the home, but, it's always a pleasure to get back out and chase those Pinty series guys whenever I can.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck in Delaware and for the rest of the season.
Thanks a lot, guys. They were great questions. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciated you coming on the show.
Thank you.